there's always going to be somebody below. Right now, you have the chance, and you got the time where you're above. Take advantage. Because there's going to come a time where I'm above, and you ain't going to have a choice to sit up here and look me in my face, cross your fingers, and say, I don't want it. Or I'm going to kill your motherfucking ass.
That's
And
right.
with that, we give all honor, glory, and praise to the Most High God of Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Private Trailer!
For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put that work in. Hamashiach gives that order, prepare slaughter. For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put this work in. Hamashiach gives that order. Leviticus 11.
Made melody, not again.
Prepare slaughter. For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put that work in. Hamashiach gives that order, prepare slaughter. For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put this work in. Hamashiach gives that order.
Leviticus 11, I'm flipping the diet, I'm causing a riot like back in the 80s. They be like, you go hot, cause your flow hot like I'm rapping in Hades. Slaughtered us by the millions, so I'm taking their children and dashing their babies. Niggas acting like barbers, how they be talking to Deacon and asking to fade me. My people are suffering, got ears but don't know how to hear. Hit hard like a running back and he coming back to turn smiles to tears. Deacon Sakari moving fast like a chariot with 1,000 gears. Kingdom is coming and heathens going in slavery for 1,000 years. You false in prison, my people, they locked in the county just sitting there rotting. You thought you got away clean, but God and his angels was sitting there watching. You caked us out of the land, jealousy, you was wishing and plotting. And now your fingers are bloody from being enslaved and picking the cotton. High hats, like that, bring the drum back. And you know you can get the smoke till your lungs black. That's exactly what's gonna happen when he come back. Y'all wanna stay in power, I know you don't want that, but
slaughter. For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put that work in. Hamashiach gives that order, prepare slaughter. For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put this work in. Hamashiach gives that order. Isaiah 48:22, the wicked won't get peace, please. Talk shit about Israelites, I do me is his feces. Storing the earth with concrete, distinct in animal species. Saying we come from monkeys, but y'all the ones that got Reese's. Edomites so full of pride, genocide, gentrified. Jerusalem is the motherland, so mom's death was a homicide. Higher wouldn't be a just power if he just gon' let it slide. Yasharala, we on the rise. Y'all motherfuckers inherit lies. In the year 70 AD, many outrageous atrocities. With these niggas won't play though. All they get is these Socrates, precepts and prophecies. These heathen do not believe. Jeremiah 28:8. Serve the wicked, they dinner plate. So this birthright since then should have known what had been at stake. Obliterate and seal his fate for making our babies cater babes. For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put that work in. Hamashiach gives that order, prepare slaughter. For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of their father, bloodthirstiest of our nation. Not for living water, waiting to put this work in. Hamashiach gives that order.
Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we give all honor, glory, and praise to the Most High God of our Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, of Mashiach Yahweh Shai. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we give. Had the computer on. Everybody, let me know, man, if the audio is good. Is there any lag? Is there any stutter or anything? Let me know. Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat if everything is good. I've been sitting here playing around with this damn computer for a while, so I hope everything is straight. Boom, 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 boom. All praises, all praises, all praises. Good deal, good deal. Let me make sure all this is in line. All praise, all praise. So we all good, man. Again, man, you know, we give all honor to the Most High, man, through His Son. Quick little updates. Our beloved brother, Shamar Yashar, had a successful surgery. Everything was good. Everything went well. The brother is awake. He's talking. You know, he's just going through the whole process now of, you know, recovery, making sure that, you know, the heart accepts and takes to his body. Make sure that, you know, all of his organs and all of his bodily functions are getting back to normal. So, you know, all praise to the Most High God for that. So, you know, I haven't gotten a chance to speak to the brother, but, you know, I have been in communication with him through his wife, and, you know, she's been relaying all of the information, man. So we appreciate everybody for all your prayers, man. Just everything that, you know, all of the positivity that was pushed our way, man, and all of the prayers that was put up to the Most High. You know, he definitely received it. The brother pulled through in, you know, spectacular fashion. So we thank the Most High for that. We thank all of you as well, man, just for the support. Everything is you know, going well. It's definitely been tough. It's definitely been, you know, a trying time. The brother was just battling with trying to figure out what was going on for the longest. And, you know, through the Spirit, the Most High made a way, as He always does. And I take this situation and, you know, try to capitalize off of it for the topic of today's discussion, or, you know, just the things that I have to say. I'm not going to be on here long, but through the Spirit, you know, this will be an everyday thing. I finally got my room together, everything that I've been trying to get done. And, you know, the Most High is constantly working. So, you know, brothers and sisters always have to utilize patience and utilize faith, and always stay grounded and stay faithful with the Most High, man, and just always keep pushing. You know, the worst thing that we can do is give up. And it's through conversations that I've had with Sarge and also his wife, since he's not been able to talk, that it's you always gotta find your inspiration. And sometimes that's difficult when we say, hey, just be faithful. Hey, have faith, have faith. Those things can be difficult, especially with someone just saying this stuff to you. When you just tell somebody have faith, most of the time, you know, it's said in a way as just some sort of blanket statement, or just maybe something to say when you don't have much else to say. And I was telling Sarge, I said, you know, the worst thing we could do, man, is when it says be faithful unto death, you know, endure, is to then turn around and just give up and just rest on that. You know, there's still moves that have to be made. There's still you know, courses of action that have to be taken in order to prove and showcase that I do have faith in the Most High God. I do rely heavily on and accept also. Not only do I rely on, I also accept the will of the Most High God, that I bow and I serve. I bow to and that I serve. You know, last month, July, you know, the channel was on fire, man. I was posting every day. And you find yourself into these little ruts. So you find yourself in these pits. And this is, you know, the times in which you have to really dig down, or have a place where you can find inspiration to continue to serve the Most High. It's not just always a situation where, you know, oh, because I have faith that it's just automatically there. Nah, man. The whole purpose of the Lord telling us to have faith is a validation in itself, that you're gonna have these times. You're gonna find yourself in these positions where, you know, you have to always kind of keep your eye on the prize and always look forward. And through the faith you have in the Most High and his son, that you're able to keep pushing, you're able to keep going. And, you know, I constantly find myself in these situations, you know, confused, unaware. I'm not really sure what it is that I need to be doing extra. Sometimes you feel like what you've been doing is a lot more than what you did prior, or you know, been known to do, and you feel like you're doing a good job. And then you know what the Lord does? He says, I need more. And it reminds me that commercial that Kobe Bryant and Kanye West did. And he's like, you know, how many records do you want my records to break? He said, more records. You know, what else do you want from me? And he's like, I need you to do more. And that's sometimes what the Most High, you know, tells you or gives you the understanding of what you have to do. You got to go out and you got to keep pushing and do more. And when you find yourself in that confusing place, exactly, it's not your will, but it's his. And when you find yourself in that confusing place, you just got to remain faithful and be patient as well. The Lord will not let you go, right? So long as you stay grounded and you stay, you know, with your faith and your ambitions directed towards and through him, right? Shalom, everybody coming into the chat right now. For everybody that just came in, we got like about an extra 20 people that just got in here. Our beloved brother Sarge, man, he had a successful surgery. He's doing well. He's awake. He's speaking, and he's just, you know, steady now recovery process. So, you know, all praise to the Most High for that. But again, you know, just finding inspiration. I was having a conversation with Sarge's wife, and she was just speaking about, you know, how difficult the time has been and how trying it was. And I was letting her know that right now is where we're able to perform our duties to our brother, right? Which is also a duty to the Most High, right? Maybe she wasn't able to get up to the hospital, or maybe right now, you know, where they're not even allowing visitors right now because, you know, the brother's fresh out of surgery. This man just had a heart transplant, you know, his immune system is weakened. So they're not even allowing visitors right now. And I'm just letting her know, like, listen, this is now the opportunity where you can actually just perform, you know, your wifely duties, is just make sure that everything is good at home, so that when he does wake up, when he does have opportunity to get on the phone and talk to people, he doesn't have to worry. He doesn't have to sit here and say, damn, okay, what's going on at home? Okay, this is not done, that's not done. Then it adds more worry, it adds more stress to the brother. And I've always said this concerning sisters, and when they come into the truth, it's like, well, you learn you're an Israelite, you either join yourself into a camp, and then they give you maybe little tasks and things that you can do to be helpful, to be charitable. You change your diet, you start wearing fringes, and then it's just more, and then you show up to high holy days. And then after that, it's just more so like, damn, well, what do I do? What else is there to be done? And I know it becomes difficult for sisters. And I tell them, like, your work really isn't going to start in this truth until you get you a husband. That's where really, you know, and you can actually fulfill that duty of being a helpmate. You know, I'm not saying that there's nothing you can do without a husband. I'm saying it's really simple. And a lot of times sisters always ask, well, what more can I do? Get you a husband, you know, you start dealing with a brother, or you even start dealing with an organization, you start finding things where you can kind of, you know, display this transformation of a person that you've become, this new man, this new person, and you be able to put that on display. As far as brothers, we learn the truth. We want to learn we're Israelites. We start making that transformation. And then we get into the habit of doing what? We get into the habit of actually being around brothers. Now we get a chance to, you know, show brotherly love. We get a chance to counsel. We get a chance to be held accountable of the things that, you know, we do wrong. We have an opportunity to be corrected. We have an opportunity to you know, operate within the you know, a body, to actually execute these laws, statutes, and commandments. So one of the things I was letting his wife know is just, you know, remain patient. You know, the brother's going through his recovery process. Everything is good. All praise to the Most High. Everything is going well. We don't need you panicking. And throughout the conversation, she was just saying that how trying this time was, and that she found inspiration to get more into writing, you know, something that she hadn't done in some time. So I thought that that was powerful. And as she said that, I was like, man, that's what I felt like I needed to hear as well. Because maybe for like the last couple of weeks, I just been feeling out of whack. I just been feeling like, damn, you know, there was an energy, there was a drive, there was a motivation that I had, you know, when we got the classroom or the school, when, you know, I was traveling. And when all of that traveling, everything kind of stopped, I stopped. When I finally got back from Texas, that was our last trip that we took. Says, I like to know when or how someone will know when they will see, trust to know, and accept it. Okay, real quick. So when I got back from Dallas, that was the last trip that I took. I came back and I slept for like 4 days straight. Mind you, I had went to Detroit at the end of June. I turned around and went to New York the first week of July. I turned around, I was in Atlanta the second week of July. Turned around, took a week off when I got back from Atlanta, and then I went to Houston. And then from Houston, we drove down to Dallas, and that's when I came back. That was towards the end of the month. Came back and I slept for like 4 days. I didn't understand what was going on. I thought I was getting sick. I thought I had caught that stuff, right? And I thought I had caught that, you know, that whamma bama. But, you know, it was just my body needing that rest. I was ripping and running for a good 3 months straight. And now it was just my body needing that rest. Now, when I got my rest, you know, I didn't kick back to that same tempo and to the same, I didn't have that same momentum that I did prior to, you know, me having to be sat down. And that was just the Lord, you know, giving me my rest. But from there, I was just really trying to find that inspiration and find, you know, a way to kind of get back into the groove. But it was just so many things going on. And guess what? Where Satan finds an opportunity, that's where he takes it. That demon hops on you of, you know, doubt, that demon of doubt. Chief speaks about this a lot. I've heard Hassan speak on this as well. It's something that we always speak about here in San Diego, that demon of doubt. When you had that demon of doubt hop on you, or that demon of confusion and not knowing what direction to go in, again, this is not a direction of, oh, I want to forsake what I've been doing. No, it's just, okay, outside of going to camp every week, you know that things have to be done. Sometimes I come up here to the class and I just sit back and I'm just like, damn, you know, I don't know what else there is for me to do. And you try to find, you know, different ways to be productive and different ways to further this truth and get the truth out. And sometimes you can come up with ideas, but you don't get around to do it. I know that's how it is with me. And like I said, you just got to find a way to find that inspiration. But somebody just asked a question earlier and they said, I'd like to know when or how someone will know when they will see, trust, and know to accept it. Another conversation I was having with Sarge, the way I'm going to answer that question, I'm going to tell you about a conversation I was having with Sarge, right? You know, Sarge, he was getting nervous, man, you know, and rightfully so, because as we accept the will of the Most High, it's still a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God, right? Everything that's done is for our correction. Everything is done for edification. And you just never know how the Lord will do it. Whether he just going to take you and bring you low like he did Job and bring you through it, or he can bring you low and he can take you out. You know, like he's done numerous of the prophets and men that walk with him that would still remain faithful. You just never really know. So the brother was a little nervous, and I had to tell him, I said, you know, because he reassured me. He said, man, it's not like I disagree with the Most High. You know, I just kind of asked myself, man, what's going on? And why is all of this? You know, I've made sure to try my best to be as faithful as I could. And what happens, I had to let him know. I said, man, I don't believe that you would ever disagree with the Most High, but maybe you can get to the point where you don't understand, right? And it's getting to the point and being patient enough for the Lord to reveal this understanding to you, right? And what I told him was, I said, The only way you could ever really find yourself disagreeing with the Most High or with anything in life, period, you have to understand it first. There's no way you can disagree or agree with something that you do not understand. And then it was crazy because Sarge finished my sentence. He said, exactly. And if you understood, you wouldn't disagree. Right. So when we get, when we find scriptures that say, like, your ways are not my ways, thoughts are not my thoughts, that's where we have to take the step back. When we are in this place of confusion, we have to take our step back, take the point of step back and say, you know what? Okay, I don't think like God. I don't think like the Most High. I sit back. I now have to sit back. I now have to relax. I now have to execute patience. Right. And as I execute patience, the Lord will find himself revealing things to you in ways. But in order for you to be able to receive it, in order for you to be able to see it, you have to sit back and you have to be patient. Center yourself. Focus on the words of the Most High. This is where we start getting into fasting. When you fast, you focus. A lot of outside factors become irrelevant when you're sitting here and you're hungry. Right? Sometimes you even try to distract yourself. You're like, okay, I don't want to sit there and think about how hungry I am. Let me go find something to do. And you go do something else, and what happens? All you can think about is food. All you can think about is getting this food. So what happens? Your mind gets to just focusing on one thing. It's not cluttered with kids, work, social media, your significant other. It's not focused on anything else. You just like, man, I am hungry. But when you control that, when you hone that, you still keep that same focus. And now the Lord is able to talk to you. We are the Lord's children, and the Lord deals with us like we children, right? Shatar Yazayar, no, Sarge cannot take calls right now. But again, as soon as he does, I'm gonna definitely put it in the chat so everybody will definitely know. As far as the San Diego members, and then anybody outside of that, you guys will have to wait to the live to get an update. But again, man, you still remain focused, and the Lord deals with us like children. Anybody that has kids, and when your kids is just so focused and fixated on this, going outside, playing video games, trying to sit up here and talk to their friends. Nowadays, kids got iPads, they can FaceTime their other friends and stuff. I have to rip my son off of the damn iPad all the time when he's sitting there talking to his cousins and his friends, and I'm like, listen, come here. And I stop him, and I make him focus, and I make him look at me for a few seconds, and I tell him, calm down, relax. And I let him know, it's going to be a minute before you get back to that iPad. So get that out of your head now. Because I need you to focus on what dad is telling you. I need you to focus on the things that dad is finna say, because they're very much so important. And that's how the Lord deals with us. Gets us, focused, gets our, get us focused on one single thing, and then he's able to reveal stuff to you. Then you start to get understanding. I actually got a scripture, something I always bring out. Romans 5:3, it says, and not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience. You go through something, the Lord is, taking you through one of those trying times. That's the tribulation. That's the affliction, right? That's that cross that we have to bear through a Mashiach Yahushai that he told us to take up, right? Through his name and walk and carry this burden or carry this affliction, but remain faithful through all of it. Okay? But through this tribulation, through this affliction, through these trying times, it says it works patience. Because at that time where you're going through it, the only thing you want is to get out of it. The same way, like when you fasting, the only thing you want to do is you want to get you some food and satisfy that hunger. You want to get out of it. And as I'm just having this conversation with our brother Sarge, man, Sergeant Major, I just keep telling him, bro, we built for this. This is what we sit here and what we work for. This is what we've put all of this time and effort in. And as I was telling his wife, when we never really get these opportunities like this to showcase our faith, to showcase our obedience, to showcase that we can fulfill our roles and our duties as brothers, as sisters, as wives, as husbands, and as servants of the Most High God, when you get that opportunity, don't pass up on it. Don't fail at it. It makes all the work that you've done leading up to it void and of none effect. These are the things we got to remain mindful of. These are the things that we got to remain, consistent with. And I had to keep letting the brother know, be faithful. We worship and we serve a powerful God. Listen, both, I would say both good and evil. And when I use the word evil, it's not something that's like, something that he would consider evil. It's based off of our perception. Meaning what? The Lord could bring you through this, or the Lord can take you out. And if it's something that he is going to do to take you out, you remain faithful and you endure all the way to that last breath. And, I'm weaving in and out of remaining faithful and then also staying on topic of finding that inspiration, because like I said, before this situation of Sarge having the opportunity to get a new heart, on top of him dealing with everything that he's been dealing with before, I had to find an inspiration. So through all of this, the Lord could have easily, been using the situation with Sarge to assist me with things outside of whatever it is he was doing for Sarge. Outside of, on top of maybe inspiring, those of you on the comment board, those of you that constantly tune in to just say, yo, at any given moment, no matter what it is you're doing, no matter how righteous or in order or in line you think you are, the Lord could always put you to that test. The Lord could always sit here and say, okay, how faithful will you remain? Everything's been pretty decent in your life. Everything's been cool, especially since you come into this truth. But never forget, the Lord says, or the scripture says rather, the Bible says, when you come to serve the Most High, prepare your heart for temptation. Let me finish this in Romans 5 and I'm going to get that. It says, Romans 5:3 again. And not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience. We have to definitely cherish and respect the experiences the Lord brings us through when we have the opportunity, and also prepare ourselves when we go through these things. We are preparing our minds. We are preparing our spirit. We are preparing our bodies for war. Simple and plain. These bodies we have now, they're not going to go into the kingdom. These bodies are disgusting. These bodies are despicable. This is not the bodies that we're going to have in the kingdom. Everybody always talks about the blessing and the reward of having a renewed and enhanced body. But until then, we have to prepare ourselves for war. For war against who? For war against the adversary that plays and actually lives and survives off of the weakness of our bodies. And also, guess what? The weakness of our minds, which is our soul. We have to literally sit here and train. When it says train up a child in the way he should go, when you come into this truth and you are born again, you come in as newborn babes. Same principle applies to you, right? So we're training ourselves and training our mind and our body for war. Again, war against the adversary, because the adversary's job and the adversary's objective is to take us away from that faith that we should have in any of those times of tribulations. That's why it says we glory in tribulation. A brother Bayan in our camp, man, he says, Cap, why or how do you just deal with it? It's like, I laugh. Not in mockery. I would never mock the Most High. I laugh because the Lord has already told and warned me of such things. So whenever I don't know, whenever I'm confused, whenever there is a slither of doubt, I sit back, I laugh, and I remind myself that the Most High has already told me this is what was going to happen. Okay? This is what was going to happen. And it's my job now to not waver, right? Remain steadfast, remain grounded, remain integral, to not waver, and to just allow him to continue to deal with me, strengthen me, and also do what? To also guide as well. Because again, sometimes you want direction. Sometimes you need energy. And that's the inspiration that I'm talking about. You know, and like I said, it takes these times, it takes these experiences through being patient that I glory in, because that experience gives us hope. And patience, experience, and experience hope. Verse 5, and hope maketh not ashamed. Man, through this whole process, and again, this is not even something that's happened to me, but because I'm close with Sarge, because Sarge is one of my loved ones, my brother, and one of the, you know, founding members of this organization, one of the foundational principal members of this organization, I find inspiration through what he's dealing with, what he's going through, because I've bared the burden with my brother. Same thing, you know, with going through the situation with our brother, our beloved brother Daniela last year, where the Lord actually took him out. But one thing I can say, and one thing I will continue to say, is that brother remained faithful until the very end. To the very end. And if I'm not mistaken, one of the last things I've ever said to that brother was saluting him, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Barakatah. And he saluted me back. One of the last things I said to him. Right? It says, and hope maketh, verse 5, and hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of the Most High is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit, or by the Holy Ghost, which is given unto us. Let's get a precept real quick. See how the Spirit deals with us. Y'all let me know if audio starts to bug out. I keep seeing the Wi-Fi signal pop up, so I'm sure that it's going in and out. It's book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Most High, prepare thy soul for temptation. Again, soul is dealing with your conscience. It's dealing with your mind. The way in which you discern, the way in which you go about handling situations, the way you make decision, especially when you're in these times of tribulation. Are you going to take that time of tribulation and make it an even more of an anguishing, burdensome thing? Or are you going to remember the Lord says we glory in such tribulation, in such times? Right? It's so funny, man. I was talking, you know, this sparked off of one conversation in particular, but I have this conversation with people a lot. I hear it when they speak about being backed into a corner. And it comes up so much about being backed in such a corner and how much people just do not like being there. And I told somebody earlier that I said, man, I love being in that corner. It's just something about that corner that's just so amazing. It's great. Why is that corner so great? Because you learn so much in that corner. You have to humble down when you're in that corner. You have to really humble down. And that's the temptation of your soul. Because when you're in that corner, as we've usually have handled being in that corner, we usually do things that are not convenient. We always do things that probably most of the time we do wicked stuff to get out that corner. That's how we've always handled it. Whether you got to lie to get out of that corner, whether you got to go and get out of order to get out of that corner, where you got to go and become sinful to get out of. Beautiful point. My brother Papa just said, pressure makes diamonds. But, you know, there's a process to it. And what happens is this coal, right, that's attacked by such pressure, it surrenders to the process of what's going to happen to make that diamond. That's where they come from. And it becomes such a stone that people covet after.
And that diamond in this topic of conversation is a representation of the man that we all want to be, or woman, right? But you understand my point. That's the man that we all want to be. As people covet and want to be those diamonds, or excuse me, want to have those diamonds. I'm sorry. As people want to covet after and want to have those diamonds, it's the same mannerism and the same type of person, the same caliber of a person. They will always want to have the caliber of character that one has when they're in such a corner. They don't waver, they don't break. And that's what we have to be. That's what we have to strive for. But again, you got to prepare yourself physically and mentally. Going back to fasting. Yeah, you're hungry. Yeah, you want that food, but you have to accomplish the time of the fasting that you've set forth, or that the Most High has set forth. We got Day of Atonement coming up. 24 hours. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. No water, no food, no nothing. But you got to deal with it. You got to endure it. It's preparing your body as well as your mind to have all of these things in harmony with each other, and also to have control of these things. Being able to tell yourself no. Being able to look yourself in the face and look yourself in the mirror and say no. That's where a lot of our people fail. That's where a lot of our people start to fall off, and that's where they start to waver. You can't tell them no. I mean, excuse me, you can't tell yourself no. You can't allow yourself to remain faithful. You can't allow yourself to stay in track and stay online. It's a difficult, it's a very, very tough thing. But while everything is good, you got to put yourself through the fire, so that when you do feel that heat approaching, you know that you're prepared for it. You know that you're prepared to endure unto death. Right? Let me finish this out and we're gonna get some examples. Ecclesiastes 2:1, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Temptation, anything that's going to take you away from serving the Lord. Set thy heart. We understand your heart is dealing with your mind in the scriptures, right? Your mind, and then your soul is dealing with your train of thought, your thinking. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure whatever it is you're dealing with. The Lord told you he was going to do that, you were going to have to deal with it. And he also told you he was going to bring you through those things. Do not, real quick, beautiful precept, Papa, Psalms 51:11. Cast me not away from thy presence and take not thy Holy Spirit from you. That's what's going to get you through. He told you he was going to put you through it. He also told you he was going to get you out. So allow the Lord to work. Constantly endure and make not haste in the time of trouble. You know what that time of trouble is? It's in that corner. People get in that corner, their heart start racing, they start feeling the pressure, right? Your chest start getting tight, and you start saying to yourself, I got to get out. And then you resort to the by any means necessary. Then you resort to the by any means necessary slogan or principle, and you go and do just about anything to get out of it. It's a problem. We can't do that. That's not acceptable by the Most High. We have to remain within the boundaries set. We have to remain within the disciplines that the Most High has set for us. That's what's most important, right? That time of trouble, being in that corner, being in that tempting place, that's going to take you away from serving the Lord. You got to remain and endure faithful. Verse 3, cleave unto him. Don't cleave or lean on your own understanding. Cleave unto the Most High, right? And depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy at thy last end. All we have to do is endure. All we have to do is keep going, keep pushing, remaining faithful. Usually, the corner is not going to take you out. Usually, the corner is there to make you stronger. But if the corner actually does take you out, so what? We've seen it plenty of times. We have examples of these things
in the scriptures, why would we want to sit here and deviate from that when we've seen how the Lord have dealt with those who have endured? Let's get some scriptures. Trying to get straight to the point, right? It's a long chapter. I'm going to Daniel, the 3rd chapter, right? It says, Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits and the breadth of 6 cubits. The breadth thereof was 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors and the captains, the judges and the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Then the princes, the governors, the captains, judges, treasurers, counselors, sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then a herald cried aloud, to you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image the king have set up. And whosoever falleth not down and worship shall the same hour be cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. So we understand there was an idol set up, right, that Nebuchadnezzar had put up, and they put the decree out. Whenever you hear the song and the music playing, you bow down to the image and the idol of Nebuchadnezzar. Let's see what happened. Let's jump down. I'm going to read verse 7, then we're going to jump down. Therefore, at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshiped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Wherefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews, and spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear a sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth, that he should be cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? It says, Now if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, the flute, the sackbut, the psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands? That's a real serious position to be put in. Not only were you already set up as a taskmaster, right? You done already got you a little power, you got you a little liberty, right? You working for the king. He didn't give you some affairs to rule over. People don't like giving that up. That's like all of our, elected officials. They get that position of power, they get that liberty, and then they don't want to let those things go, right? They want to have the ability to remain in those positions and stay having that power over people. But what happened? They said, listen, this is a lot. This is a lot you're putting, in my hands right now, where I got to bow down and serve and worship something that I know my God told me not to. That's a tough deal to have, right? So what happens? They get brought before Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar says, listen, you need to be bound down when you hear this music. If you don't, you're going to be cast into that fiery furnace. And then he challenges, and who is this God that's going to serve, or that's going that you serve, that's going to deliver you out of the hands of me in this furnace that I'm going to put you in. Read the scripture. It says, because those who go astray, you warn them already. Why know how they have sinned, that they can set free from their wickedness and believe in you. That's a good point. Let's keep going. Verse 16, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. Meaning, I'm not going to hold my tongue. I'm not going to, be politically correct in the way that I'm going to respond to the question, especially regarding when you challenge what and who my God is and what he can do for me. Regarding this matter, regarding this persecution, this tribulation that you're going to put on me. It says, if it be so, our God whom we serve, he's able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy God, thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. They turned around and told him, they said, listen, not only do we believe and we feel wholeheartedly that our Lord will deliver us out of this, but guess what? Even if he doesn't, watch this. If it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace. He possesses the power to do so, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, even if he doesn't, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Even if he doesn't. And this is what I'm telling you guys earlier before we even read this. Either the Lord's going to put you in that corner and he's going to deliver you out of it, or he's not. You still remain faithful. It's all according to his will that you must accept and submit yourself unto. Easy stuff. This is what you signed up for. This is what all of this is about. Coming to know you're an Israelite, coming to know the name of God, coming to know what tribe you're from, coming to know and understand and follow the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, putting yourself under this covenant that the Most High has set up between him and his people. This is what you signed up for. Prepare yourself for it. Get your mind right, lock in, and do and fulfill what you're supposed to and what's required of you, which is to serve the Most High God with all of your heart, with all of your soul, with your body and everything that you have. And not only that, but you go and encourage others to do the same. Verse 19, then Nebuchadnezzar, full of fury, and in the form of his visage, was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Meaning what? He didn't no longer have no favor on them as he did prior when, he set them up to be taskmasters. Now they're upset. Now they're mad. Oh, excuse me. Now he's upset. Now he's mad. He's big mad. Therefore, he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was wont to be heated. So he said, make it extra hot, because we want to have this grandiose gesture of punishment. And he wanted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to hear it. It's like, when you say stuff like, yeah, go get the chainsaw. Hey, go get the machete. We're not going to just shoot you and kill you. Now, we're going to maim you. We're going to sit up here and torture you. We're going to take you through something, or we're going to put something in your face, and then it's really going to show how much do you really love this God? How much do you really believe in this God you say you love and you bow down and you worship and serve? Because that's exactly what Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that's exactly what anybody on this common board that's a believer, because we know we got those scoffers, people that just love watching us even though they don't like us. But anybody that call themselves a believer, they'll tell you this is what they're going to do before serving the Most High, or before you get to that position. When everything is good, when everything is going well for you, you talk a big game. Oh, nah, man, listen, it's the Most High or nothing. It's all on the Most High, right? It's all on the Most High. I serve the Most High. I love the Most High. No. I ain't gonna, excuse me, not no. I'm responding to myself like I'm talking to somebody. People feel like that before they get into that situation. When they find themselves in this situation, what happens? They fold because they never really believed in the beginning. And you know, a lot of times when we see our people fold with simple things, not with having your finger cut off, not with having your head chopped off, not with you being hung, not with you ever being physically harmed. You know where our people fall off? Where they sit here and they can't even reconcile with their brother. They can't even check their own selves, their own mentality, their own emotion, their own bodily feelings, and they can't even reconcile, apologize, or make right with their brother. Ain't that crazy? They can't even do that. So how in the world are you going to remain faithful in the face of the Most High God or in the face of the fury of God, but you can't even remain faithful with just reconciling them and putting your emotions to the side, being able to either apologize, accept an apology, and move forward with your brother. Can't even do that. The brother Papa just made another powerful point. The brother's just on fire. He stays on fire. Let's get those likes up, man. All right? Let's get those likes up. Oh, yeah. Let's get them likes up. We'd appreciate it, man. We get those likes up. Yeah, how about Shem Yashar Brakatha out the water to the brother Israel Grace, man. We appreciate you. Let's get them likes up. Let's keep going, right? And he commanded the most mighty men. Oh, excuse me. Even going back to the last verse where it says, and commanded that they should heat the furnace 7 times more than it was one to be heated. He wanted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to hear it so that they could fold. Like, damn, man, he's really finna send us to this fiery furnace. He's really finna. J Dubs, the Cash App is right here. It should be posted as a on the banner right here. sicariisd. We appreciate you, the water. Let me know can y'all see this? Donate via Cash App, sicariisd. Y'all can't see this on the screen? Let me know. Put a one in the chat if y'all can see it. If not, I'll put it in the chat. There we go. So y'all can see it. Again, Nebuchadnezzar wanted them to hear that so that they could fold. Damn, you gonna really throw us in this furnace? I mean, yeah, you said you was, but you really gonna do it? There's no way we can negotiate. There's no way we can sit up here and actually discuss this. Yeah, not only I'm gonna throw you in the furnace, but I'm gonna turn the heat up. Turn it up 7 times hotter than it was supposed to. And when they hear it, that's usually when people fold. Like I said, oh, we gonna kill them. But it's not a matter of us just being killed. We also gonna turn around and we're going to heat the furnace up. Oh, no, we gonna torture you. Guys, give me 2 seconds. This chief calling. Hold on. Shalom. All right, we back. Y'all about Shimmy Shabbat out the wall to my brother Raphael, man. I appreciate you. Remember when the jab came out and, you know, people weren't able to work? People, I mean, you know, people weren't able to work. People weren't able to get in certain establishments. People weren't able to travel. You know, people weren't able to do a lot of different things. And it's just stuff like that that they put in front of you, just words, just little inconveniences that we already are folding off of. So if you sitting here and somebody done put done lit up a hot furnace, you telling me you just bold enough? I hope you are. I'm not saying that to try to check you and try to steer you in a different direction to say that's ludicrous or that's ridiculous, you shouldn't do that. No, I'm saying I hope you are. But it's times like now where you're not in front of that fire, where you sit back and you have to consider, this is a possibility of what I'm up against. Set your heart aright is recognize what you're signing up for and go 100%, 10 times even harder that. Go 1,000%. Go 1,000% for the Most High right now, as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did. Verse 20, and he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats and their hose and their hats and their garments and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because of the king's commandment was urgent and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. As sure as those men were to serve Nebuchadnezzar in the command that he gave, how much more should we see an example like that and exceed it when we serve the Most High? A lot of times I always, you know, find myself comparing how I serve the Most High God, the ruler, creator of everything on the planet Earth, to how someone serves a man, a creation of the Most High. We always want to talk trash about heathens. We always want to sit up here and ridicule and criticize a heathen and how they ain't this and how they ain't that. But they serve a creation of the Most High far better than a lot of us serve the Most High God. These things is what you have to put in perspective. So if we recognize, and they knew how hot that furnace was, they knew and saw how they could have easily gotten taken into there. You don't think they had second guessed themselves? Like, man, I mean, can we just make them jump and, you know, kind of like, you know, poke them with a sharp sword, you know, in their back or in their shoulder or something to make them jump? Kind of like how pirates used to make people jump off the plank. Because if you get too close to it, you're going to get taken up in the fire as well, which is what happened. But they still fulfilled the job that they knew that they knew they had to do because of their obligation and their submission and subjection unto Nebuchadnezzar. Always look at that. When people sit up and criticize us, they say, if you're a Hamite, you're not a true believer, you believe in a false. Well, listen, you bet not allow me to worship and serve what you call my false God more than the way you serve your true God. Get up out my face, man. Recognize that, people. Recognize that, Israel. Verse 23, and these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound in the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished and rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselors, did not we cast three men bound in the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, true, O king. He answered and said, lo, I see four men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And the form of the fourth was like the Son of God. Tear apart my face, right? We see the faith that these men had. We see how they didn't make haste in the time of trouble. They didn't try to even fight Nebuchadnezzar. They just said, listen, we serve a God that's able. And we know that he's going to deliver us out of your hands. And if he doesn't, it's still not going to pull us closer to fulfilling the wicked request that you just put on us. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. So we understand that. We see the example there. And we also see another example in the book of Maccabees, right? With the 7 sons and the mother. Same thing, standing boldly in the face of their oppressor, standing boldly in the face of their temptation. It's not just always about oppression. Oppression is a temptation. It is an effort to take us away from serving the Most High God. Stop submitting and subjecting yourself unto the Most High God and submit and subject yourself unto the person afflicting and oppressing you. Yahweh Shem Yashar Brakatah Wata Wata to Judah 4-0. Right? It's all an effort to subject you. Don't subject yourself unto the Most High. Subject yourself unto the oppressor. This is what the attempt is for. When we receive and when we see and when we're met with this oppression or this affliction, when we're met with this tribulation, you have to remain grounded. You have to remain faithful. This is the reason why, you know, and the reason why I'm separating, or excuse me, just kind of not focusing so much on the oppression, is because it doesn't always have to be from the oppressor. You might fall into a sickness. You might fall into, again, a dispute with your brother. You might fall into anything that is going to cause you to either transgress or step away, which is a transgression from the Most High. That's still a transgression because you're commanded to worship and serve and be faithful and be wholeheartedly standing on the words and wisdom of the Most High. That's simple and plain. You step away from that, you're transgressing. Right? So in this situation that we find with, again, Sarge, he got sick. My brother Daniela, man, he got sick. It happened. Through that, it puts those around him and those that, you know, is directly connected to this situation. It puts you in a place, man, where you can, you know, be down. You could be out. You can be inactive. These things happen. And what do you have to do? You have to turn around and you got to find something that's going to inspire you. And, you know, it was conversation that I had with Sarge. It was conversation that I had with the brother's wife. It was a conversation that I had with my brother Yaash. That it just hit me in the moment. And I have been telling people, that's another thing too, man, be vocal. Be vocal about what it is that you're going through, because through the Spirit, man, you just never know where these conversations can go. You never know where the Lord can take it and where you can actually find the answers there, right? So it was one thing for me, man. I just remain vocal. I remain faithful. And the Lord definitely gave me an opportunity to, you know, be inspired, and I took it. And, you know, this is one of the reasons why you even see, you know, this live today. Like I said, Lord willing, we keep this thing going. Everything is gonna, you know, become a daily thing. You know, I was on it before. I really just didn't like the whole stuff out there. It was just no motivation there. You know what I'm saying? There was no motivation to be out there. But again, I took that opportunity to keep the videos rolling in, keep the videos being posted. Came back from traveling and just, you know, you get into a little rut. But the Lord always finds a way, man, when you remain faithful, when you remain consistent with him, that he's always going to move and flow his spirit with you. And that precept that Papa brought out earlier, we constantly have to pray to the Most High not to remove that Holy Spirit from us, to always work with us, to always keep, you know, dealing and moving through us, because that's the only way we're going to get through that. Marcus G, man, like I said, Lord willing, they're going to be, you know, frequent. They're going every day, you know, if it's within my power. But that's definitely the plan. And we also, something I've been telling brothers, man, we also have to have a vision. You know, the vision is the kingdom. Yeah. But then before we get to the kingdom, the vision is establishing that brotherly love and unity. Right. And the way that we do that and achieve that, we got to, you know, have, you know, love for ourselves. You know, the scripture says what, or the Bible says what, he that's evil to himself, to whom will he be good? In order to have that brotherly love, camaraderie with others, we got to have that, you know, love for yourself. You got to carry and conduct yourself in a certain manner. Transform, renew your mind, right? Get your mind right. Get your mind in order. And then it also takes charity before you accomplish that brotherly love and camaraderie and unity and harmony. All of those things. The vision is the kingdom. Now have a plan and a course of actions of how you're going to get there. And when you do that with sincerity and when you do it with honesty, you know what happens? You find that the Most High, you find out the Most High starts to align you with like-minded people. You start to find that my plan is no different than yours. And if there are nuances where they will, be different, it's not anything where we can't merge our ideas together because the principle is there. They all flow together. It's all Apple products. You know what I'm saying? This is one reason why I like Apple so much is because everything that I get is just always will be compatible with each other easily by default. And that's the principle that the Most High has. When you're moving through the Spirit of the Most High and you're establishing your vision on the principles that He sets forth, that's when you will start to see how even if you want to go to the beach to hold camp and I want to go downtown to hold camp, we could literally do both. Those things are not something that is a indefinite divide between there. It's so funny, man, when you got this autocorrect. I always bring this out. Watch this. Jeremiah chapter 15 and 19. Jeremiah 15 and 19, it says, therefore, thus saith the Lord. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, if that turn, right? If we come back into the ways of the Lord, the same thing He said to us in Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter, return to Him with all of our mind and our hearts and our might. Then will I bring thee again, and thou shalt stand before me. And if thou take forth the precious from the vial, because we got to be live, precious stones, those diamonds, right? Those coveted, we have to be those coveted people. We have to be those people that people, long for. And that's, like I said, it's a caliber of a person. Hold on. Hello? I'm coming back to the mic like I'm on the phone. But again, being those type of people that we all strive to be, right? Something that shines, right? Because we got that light. We're the bearers of the light of the Most High, right? We got to be something that shines and something that's appealing. It says people will come and they'll sit before you as the people come and they'll listen to you as if you play well on an instrument, right? They said that you'll be more precious than fine gold. All of those different things. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, if thou return, then will I bring thee again, and thou shalt stand before me. And if thou take forth the precious from the vial, separate yourself from the vile things, it says, thou shalt be as my mouth. Let them return unto thee, but return not thou unto them. When you see or speak according to the ways of the Lord, and you come in contact with other people that speak according to the ways of the Lord, and the Lord has made both of you as His mouth, speaking those same things, you're going to run into like-minded people, and you're going to be able to blend, mesh, and operate well collectively with them as a team, right? And as a force, as a collective force. A lot of times we see people in this truth, they come into it and they want to be isolated. They want to be, away, and they want to kind of stay away from people. I get it, but that's where I was going back earlier, talking about how, the sisters come into it and they don't really have anything to do because for the most part, they're isolated. There are some camps that allow sisters to come out to camp and, sit so that they can be a part of it. But, Sakari, we don't. It's people out here shooting us, pulling knives on us, police always harassing us. We're not going to put our sisters in those type of situations, but when they do get a husband, they have more of an opportunity to perform, those wife and those womanly duties that they want to, now be a part of, saying that they've transformed and renewed themselves to become better. Okay. Also, when you find yourself in a trying, or time of tribulation with your brother, whether it's yourself or it's with your brother, you get to step up, you get to be charitable, you get to show brotherly love, you get to show that support, right? You get to let your brother know that you've, stood with him through even the toughest of times. And you want to know something crazy? From that is where you're able to solidify that love. This is why, we always talk about how well the military operates and how well the military works. They run exercises often. They run exercises often to where they get opportunities to sit here and help and assist with people. You going through this obstacle. It's something as simple as an obstacle course. Okay. One of your brothers might want to quit, right? And you say, nah, man, you can't quit. And you encourage him, you talk him through it. You be a motivation to him. Boom. Okay, cool. You turn around, and you guys have to run through these drills where, you have to simulate going in, and as you might breach a building, you might breach some wherever the enemy is, and you running through these drills and you do it over and over again, and you start to develop and rely a trust as the man on your right and the man on your left. Especially, you might be the point man, and guess what? Everybody else is relying on you to do your job. We don't really have that. We have Bible studies, we have Zoom calls, we have live streams. And we look at how well somebody's able to speak and how well somebody's able to break down the Bible, and they turn around and then, act like, you just trust them. As great as we would want that to happen, it don't work that way. They haven't been put to the test. They haven't been put in the situation where they have to showcase they'll do exactly what they said they was going to do. I forget the movie. I think it's Saving Private Ryan. Saving Private Ryan. They had went through hell. They had went through all of the training. They had went through so many different things, and then they get to the battlefield and they fold. Another one was a Full Metal Jacket. They had went through all of that. They had been talked to crazy. They had to love and rely on and trust one another and work together. Then they get out to the battlefield and they start hearing them rounds zoom and fiend past their ears and past their head, and then they fold. And then they fold. Again, I've seen brothers that we've sat here and studied, we've talked, we vibed, we hung out, everything was cool. And what happens? As soon as a dispute happens, as soon as we get into the scriptures where you got to be accountable, and all it is just a simple, you know what, brother, I apologize. Can't even do that. They couldn't even do that. Wild stuff. He said, you need some shooters in here. Listen, I need some physical shooters. I need some spiritual shooters. Definitely need brothers that, I ain't gonna say I need them. I'm saying that I would hope that all of the brothers, and sisters that say they really down for this and say they really in this to really be that. I got my shooters and I got my hitters around me. And again, that it was an opportunity made through the process of building Sakari that I was able to find that. It wasn't always that way though. I just told the brother Yash just earlier, like, man, dude, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised, like, how difficult it is nowadays to kind of continuously build that brotherhood, continuously build that bond. It's love there for sure, because brothers get the prospect, brothers get to whole camp together. Brothers, you know, get to kick it at class now, or just kick it at, you know, during feasts. You see stuff like that, but it's not the same. It's there's nothing that you're going through. Me, Chief and Deacon, man, we done been in the mud. That's why when you guys always see the documentaries, or we always see the testimonies, we always go back to that. Like, yo, we was in the house, no lights, twice. You know what I'm saying? We was doing XYZ just off of pure love for the Most High. It just never stopped us. I seen a quote or a video. You know, I'm always just quoting these videos or talking about these videos I see, because, you know, you see some prolific stuff that you know on the internet sometimes. And they said, my grandfather walked 10 miles to work, right? And made a way for my father, who only had to walk 5 miles to work. Right? Now for me, I drive a Ferrari to work. He said, my son will probably drive a Ferrari or something like that to work. He says, but my grandson will probably have to turn around and drive or walk 10 miles again. Because it's through that tribulation, it's through that, you know, tough and hard times that you find that growth, especially when you walk with someone. It solidifies this bond, it solidifies this trust that you have in them, because we've been through that. We can't simulate and just cultivate just this space where we have to do that. We can do it in certain little ways in which we are trying our best to find different ways to have little drills or have little, you know, outings or situations that we can try to build that trust. But until you go through it, you just never know how it is with people, you know. But we're approaching this hour and a half, man. I was not supposed to go this long. I want to give you guys an update on Sarge. I'll continue to give everybody an update. I wanted to, you know, also just kind of get back into this mode, man. I felt like I've found some inspiration to kind of continue to give you guys these lives, continue to post, you know, these videos that I have. I got some more, and try to find just that momentum and find that drive again. You know, definitely continue to move through myself, you know, the brothers that surround me, continue to move through Sicaria. I pray that the brother continues to move. I said the brother. I pray that the Most High continues to move through everybody that's tuned in, everybody that supports, everybody that is a believer. Hey, listen, Rapa, y'all and Papa, I don't believe any one of you brothers is gonna disappoint. But again, I appreciate the confirmation. I appreciate the affirmation. Cause like I said, I would never want to look at anybody, especially brothers as dedicated as you two, Papa and Raphael, as well as all the other, you know, constant tuner-inners, as I always call them. We appreciate all y'all. How about Shem Shabbat thought about the water to the brother Marcus G, and then it was also brother Believe. I appreciate you as well. To water again. I don't never want to look at you guys like y'all wouldn't come through, y'all wouldn't pull through, you know. And here's the thing too, man. Like even myself, I always just make sure that I'm mindful of it. Like, man, if this happened, like, hey, man, I gotta really go there with somebody. You know, you gotta, like, again, it's all preparation. It's all preparation. It's all training. This is the times that we're in, training ourselves to be faithful in those times. It's coming. That time is coming, and we got to prepare our bodies and prepare our minds for that war. That war is any temptation, any effort, any attempt to take you out of the spirit and out of the grace and out of the faith of the Most High God. And we ain't going to allow it, man. By Shema Mashiach Yahushua. So again, I appreciate everybody. Lord willing, I'll be back on tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Con the water, J Dubs. I'm gonna go check it as soon as I'm done here. Again, I'll let everybody know about the updates for Sarge. As soon as I hear from him directly, I'll let y'all know. I'll probably might start making a post. Probably make a post about it on the internet. I try my best not to just keep talking about stuff like that, man. You know, as we appreciate the support, it is a bit of a private matter. I try to be respectful to the brother as well as his family. Not as though they said that to me. This is kind of how I am. So if I don't make a post, you hear about it on the live. You know, we'll be back live tomorrow for class. Yeah, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And you know, Yahweh Shem Yashar Brakatha, excuse me, Brakathum, and Shalom to you all, man. Also, we got some new videos posted. Go check them out. Please like and share those videos. It does a lot for us, you know, especially getting everything into this algorithm. Everybody know how this algorithm be tripping. You know, share the video, get us into the algorithm, you know, so we can get this truth and this information in more people's faces. It's a beautiful build between Levi, our brother, chief officer, the priest Yash Banloya, edifying Simeon, his brother, and you know, according to the scriptures, these you know, they right hand man, and the brother came in a beautiful spirit. He brought us even some information that we could use, and Yash, the priest, man, he edified him very, very well. So go check that video out and make sure that you share the video on all of your platforms so we can get it out, man. We appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow, Lord willing. Shalom.
For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirsty is subordination. Not for living water, waiting to put that work in. Hamashiach gives that order, prepare slaughter. For all his sons and his daughters won't fill the cities with faces. Iniquities of they father, bloodthirsty is subordination. Not for living water, waiting to put this work in. Hamashiach gives that order.